My name is Steve Mwazu, reaching you from Face to Face TV. And I've been your regular host here on Face to Face TV. And today I want to talk about something that has been affecting some of us, depending on where you are viewing us from, especially those of us who are in Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria, and then some eastern part of Nigeria. So this time around, many people in Nigeria are experiencing a very surge, of temperature condition, with high temperature, exceeding over 40 degrees Celsius. So it has been so worrisome. And it's not a very good one. Some people are moving about looking for cold drinks, looking for things to keep them, hydrated and cool within their body. And that is what we want to talk about today. So it is beyond looking for cold drinks and what you're going to take. There are some other things, some other tips we need to know to help us keep ourselves very, very hydrated this period. And we also need to know that this period is, very seasonal. In the next few weeks, I believe that rain is going to come back, and everywhere will also be very much normal. Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has officially, declared temperature between temperature above 40 degrees Celsius in some areas. Some areas like Kebbi, Jalingo, Yola, Lafia, Mina, Makurdi. These areas are having temperatures of over 40 degrees Celsius, and you know what that means. It's extremely hot in those areas this period. Meanwhile, some of the most affected areas where extreme heat means with high humidity also find it so discomfort. Such areas like the North Central and the Northwest, the FCT, Kogi, Benue, Niger, Taraba, some parts of Zamfara. Here in the southeast, some areas, and south as well, some areas like Ebonyi, Abia, Enugu, Anambra, some parts of Edo, some parts of Delta, and some parts of River State are also experiencing a very hot weather this period. In fact, if you go through the internet, you find out that so many people are complaining, writing on their, X handle and on their various social media handles, lamenting about this heat. So that is what has given me concern to talk about it this early morning. There are certain things we need to know about the heat wave. It is a very big problem because it comes with a whole lot of discomfort. It comes with a whole lot of challenges. It can cause very serious dehydration and heat exhaustion and even heat stroke, which can be fatal. So that is why it shouldn't be swept under the carpet. Some people at this period don't really know what to do. Some people will just be, struggling with it, but there are certain things, little tips you need to take note of, which will help you, come out or overcome this particular, weather condition this time around. So, who is vulnerable, most? Who are most vulnerable? We have seen that older people above the age of 70, 75 and above are vulnerable. They are more vulnerable than other ages. We can also see that people with chronic health conditions, such as heart or lung diseases, those who are diabetic and those who have some kidney diseases are also vulnerable. We don't leave infants and younger adults, out of it. Infants are also very vulnerable because, in the case of infants, you don't know when they are so much cold and when they are hot. At times, you may think that they are feeling so hot, and you remove all clothing, and before you know it, they will also catch cold. So it's a very serious problem, in handling, little children during this period. You may think that they may be crying here, you think that they are feeling so hot, and you remove the clothes. The next thing you see is that, they are now feeling cold as well. Some other people with medical conditions, uh, that find it so difficult to regulate the body temperature are also vulnerable during this time around. And those who work, who do some outdoor works, who work under the sun, are also very much vulnerable because there are some people whose work must be under the sun. There are so many of them who do works that they must be under the sun. Those people don't have choice, and they must work, to work. They must work to eat. So those people are also very much vulnerable. Now the question is, how do we stay cool and safe during a heat wave? And that is why we are here. I've just come to give you little tips that will help you, overcome this particular challenge. If you are not affected, some people in your area or some of your relatives in these mentioned areas might be somehow affected. One of the things you need to do is to drink plenty water. Don't wait for you to feel thirsty before you drink water. That is why wherever I am, even you can see my bottled water. I keep on sipping, taking my water from time to time. Whether I am thirsty or not, I continue to sip my water. I continue to drink. I don't wait for for me to become thirsty before I drink water this time around. You should also follow me in doing this. Avoid some excessive alcohol, caffeine, or sugary drinks, as they can dehydrate they can dehydrate you later. When you take these things, at the end of the day, when you have excreted some of these liquid products, then they will now crystallize and remain on your body. So you should avoid excessive alcohol, caffeine, and sugary drinks this time around. Carry a water bottle around, especially for those who are working under the sun. You should make sure that you have your water bottle very much close to you. You keep a small towel handy, especially during the night. I've talked about the little children today. You should try as much as possible. You keep little towel with clean water very much handy. When you feel so hot, you dip the towel in the water, squeeze it a little, and touch maybe your forehead and some parts of your body to remove some of the heat that has accumulated, so that they will not also dry on that same body. That's one of the ways to keep yourself safe this time around. You need to stay out of the sun if possible. You need to stay out of the sun if possible. I'm not talking about those whose work is just under the sun. Maybe when you can be able to schedule your movement, when you can be able to schedule your activities, know when to go to certain places and when to stay indoors. You understand? Especially, let me address some old farmers. Those ones that will wake up very early in the morning, go to the farm and remain in the farm till evening. It's very, very dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. You can reschedule your plan, replan yourself to go very early in the morning, come back around 10:30, 11. Stay out of that scorching sun. From 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. And stay out of that scorching sun. Try as much as possible to avoid that particular heat at that moment. It will help you to stay safe under these conditions. Then those people whose work is also under the sun will try as much as possible to take some breaks. When you work small, you go and rest a little, because it is only when you are alive that you will be able to enjoy that sweat of your labor. So it is very, very important. Check in on others. So try as much as possible to keep in touch with families. Ask them how they are doing, just like I'm doing now. That's why I have opened this conversation, to know how people are faring in their various locations. Who knows, some of the tips you're using in your location can also help others in their very location. And there are some other things you need to do. Make sure that where you sleep is properly ventilated. Open, don't close everywhere. Don't close everywhere. Open the windows, cover with mosquito nets and make sure that there is proper ventilation. Unfortunately, the power generating companies are not helping matters this around, though the power generating has increased a little in this part of the country, but though the tariff is also very high. But try as much as possible, if you don't have electricity, try as much as possible to make sure that where you are sleeping is well ventilated. Don't lock up everywhere. You are not in a cell. Don't lock up everywhere so that you can receive some fresh air. While doing that as well, it is also advisable that you use a bowl and put a very clean water inside the bowl that has light surface. Inside the bowl that has light surface, keep it around the corners of your room so that they will try to humidify your room. It's very, very important. Where you can, if you have the money, you can also approach the market and buy what is called humidifier. Keep it in some corners of your room to help humidify that room. That will make, it will absorb much of the heat that has been generated during the day. We should also know that the walls of our rooms collect heat during the day. When the heat fall on them at night, they will start emitting those heats that they have already collected. That is why it is very, very advisable that you look for a way to absorb those heat. If not, they are coming back on your body. And I don't know, if possible, you should minimize the number of people that sleep in the same room. I could remember that some people do sleep like those who are in cell. At times it's not their fault anyways, but if possible, try to minimize the number of people that sleep in the same room. You cannot compare the heat that will be generated when 8 persons are lying down in the same room with that of when 2 persons are lying down in the same room. So those people will generate a whole lot of heat, and the little ventilation that is coming up will not be enough to go around and keep them safe in that same room. So as much as we are looking forward to entering the rainy season, try as much as possible to keep yourself safe this period that we have extreme heat in this part of the country. Thank you so very much. I wouldn't know if you have any contribution to make. You can drop it in the comment section. Drop some tips that can help people to stay hydrated, this period. Thank you so very much.
Face to face, now they read my